Hello, folks. It looks like we're seeing the first test of President Ramaphosa's bold, audacious claim that South Africa will participate fully in the 2026 G20. That's what he said after President Trump said that South Africa would not be invited to Miami for the Leaders Summit in December or November of 2026. Breaking news today, South Africa has not been invited to the upcoming G20 Sherpas meeting scheduled for the 15th and 16th of December 2025, less than 2 weeks from today.
We expect South Africa to speak to this issue.
The United States has sent out invitations to all members except South Africa. The exclusion was confirmed after the United States sent those invitations to every other G20 member and left out South Africa. Now, by not attending the G20 meetings that start already this month, South Africa will be unable to shape or influence agendas for the decisions that were reached previously. So all the bold things that Ramaphosa said was a great success of the summit after insulting, belittling, mocking the United States and refusing to negotiate properly with the United States on a bilateral basis and misleading the public about trade negotiations, chickens have come home to roost. So all the bold pronouncements about begging bold, debt relief, oh, please, sir, forgive our debt yet again. You evil Western people, forgive our debt. All the nonsense about Ubuntu and unity and diversity and all the other stuff, not to mention the green energy, climate change, religion that was preached, the just energy transition, all of that nonsense, the gobbledygook that came out of G20, which is the genuine reason why the United States didn't attend. Trump saying things at the end about, well, it's because they're exterminating people. That's not why the U.S. didn't attend. It became clear throughout the course of the year during South Africa's presidency that the South African government was less interested in economic growth and trade and much more interested in rent-seeking and fleecing money out of the developed world to give to the begging bowl of South Africa in particular, but Africa in general. And that is the real reason why the United States didn't participate in the Leaders Summit at the end, and that's why the United States doesn't want to see South Africa on U.S. soil. The American government, that is. Yeah, so South Africa won't be able to advance some of the decisions which were reached in the recent G20. It's not a good thing for South Africa, and it's also not good for the U.S. in many ways, claims Professor Christopher Isika, director of the African Center for the Study of the United States at the University of Pretoria, which raised a very important point. I constantly get the little hate wankers and leftist lunatics and, black supremacists coming on my channel and going, who are you to talk about South Africa? What are you doing? Why are you so obsessed with South Africa? Let me ask you this question. Why does the University of Pretoria, why does Tux have an African Center for the Study of the United States? But I can't cover South Africa. Please. Yeah, President Ramaphosa claimed that South Africa would fully participate and be an active and constructive member of the G20 over the course of this year. Now, what remains to be seen is what the response from the other 18 members will be. Will some of them not send representatives to this meeting? That could send a message to the United States. Will they all show up? That could send a very clear message to South Africa.
If we fight the U.S. within the forum, the U.S. will escalate this to the bilateral relations.
Whatever the case, the diplomatic spat that the African National Congress precipitated by its actions against the United States, which I've covered repeatedly throughout this year, dozens of reasons why the Lady R, training Chinese combat pilots to shoot down NATO aircraft, using U.S. and NATO pilots to do that, advancing communist ideals, and the list goes on and on. The corruption, the treatment of South African minorities, the offenses against the United States directly. I've covered this.
The bilateral relations with South Africa, it is not because of the G20.
But the consequences of that are finally coming home to roost. Now, people in South Africa will be defensive in the fake media, the legacy media, as well as ANC officials. I mean, we already saw a bogus story. It's a real story, but it's bogus conclusion on the part of some members of government. The sources claim that the South Africans are tired of this. We're tired of the president being insulted. We're taking the gloves off. We're going to use hard power. What hard power? You're going to send your one Gripen to bomb the United States? It's not even a bomber. It's an interceptor. You're going to send your disabled German frigate fleet to the shores of America? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? This is a power imbalance that is not in your favor. You're going to boycott or you're going to embargo goods from the United States? Your economy is already imploding. This is horrible. This is all preventable. So unnecessary. So unnecessary. The provocations, the endless provocations, which Trump just ignored for most of the year. And they've been crying victim. Well, now you can cry victim. Trump is coming after you. You called him too many names. You lied about America too often. You misled the people of South Africa, and you lied to the world. Vaccine apartheid. Where's the $711 million that went to Aspen Pharmacare, Cyril? Where's that money at? The centrifuges, the chemical formula for making the jabs. Where's all that at? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. What the hell? Seriously. I mean, give me a break. And the list just goes on and on and on. Well, you want to be the victim, ANC? Now you're the victim. So go ahead and cry. That's what we're going to hear. Unbelievable, folks. Shocking, to say the least. Not that Trump is excluding them from the Sherpa meeting in 2 weeks, but it's come to this. That's the shocking part. When just some adult behavior and some diplomatic conduct could have prevented all this. Thank you, Ibrahim Rasool, for pissing in the well. But I venture to suspect that that's the attitude of many senior leaders in the ANC. They've never liked America. They've never liked us. They don't like true democracy. They don't like true representative government. They don't like a representative system that actually represents the people. They prefer the corrupt system where the people have to vote for a color or a party on a piece of paper, and then they pick the people who run the country. The party does. Party over people. That's South Africa. Sad to see. What say you, South Africa, Mzansi? Cheers.